Hey Kayla, I'm glad that you could make it into my very Christmas themed office today.
Me too. It's so festive. I really needed it today. So
It's holiday themed. It's not, religiously or Christian themed.
fair. Good because I'm a Buddhist. So
I know. So the last few times we've been meeting, we've been talking about, the work stresses and that's something that you're trying to work on as a manager.
Mhm.
And we've been practicing some mindfulness techniques. How are those working?
They're going okay. It's hard to remember them in the moment sometimes. But I've at least been trying to do it when I get home from work, so I can leave work and not be thinking about it while I'm at home all
Great.
night. So.
Yeah, so you can go to sleep at night.
Yeah.
Awesome. So today, if we can continue to kind of add to your toolbox of techniques, is it okay if we try another technique and you can see if it works out for you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So this technique practices a lot of those skills that we've been talking about, the mindfulness, the sensory awareness. It's called mind-body bridging. It's a brain-based technique, so it's actually something that happens in your brain. We've talked about how the midbrain is your primal brain, and how when you're in your midbrain, you're kind of in that fight or fight phase, and you've performed in that place at work before.
Yes.
And
I either avoid people or I yell at them sometimes.
Yes.
So.
So mind-body bridging gets you out of that primal monkey brain and takes you to your eye system, which is your frontal lobe, and that's where you can do your act in your executive functioning. So you can be acting in the ways that are more in line with your value system, right?
Yeah.
So can you kind of see how those two different parts of your brain?
Yeah, and I've learned about that before too. Sometimes and that's why they say teenagers act irrationally sometimes is because their frontal lobe isn't developed all the way.
Exactly.
And so I know that's where in my brain some of that future planning and some of that stuff comes from. So.
And we all have that very developed teenager primal skill set in our brain. So it's just a matter, we all have a tendency to kind of go back to that fight or fight place. It's just a matter of bridging that, creating a bridge of neural pathways in your brain where you can go from that primal brain and return to your true functioning, where you do your wise thinking, you act in your executive functioning. So let's try that today.
Okay.
Grab those pieces of paper next to you. And in the middle circle there, you can write the event that's causing you the most distress in life right now. I'm not going to look at your paper, so you can write whatever you want.
Okay.
But we're going to report and talk about, kind of themes that are on your paper.
Sure. Okay.
So write everything down that's coming to mind. Just get it all out there on paper.
Okay.
So take a few more minutes or seconds and write down your last thoughts. Okay. So, are you feeling any body tension in your body right now?
Yeah. My heart's racing kind of fast, and I'm feeling the more I was writing, like the higher my shoulders were getting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How are you feeling?
Kind of overwhelmed. Like, I don't know, it was like going back and forth between like things that I could be doing or should have done, or things that this person should be doing or could have done, and how that dynamic, but what about this, just kind of like all over the place. So I feel like a little overwhelmed. I have like, it feels like really random things that are like kind of contradicting each other on here a little bit.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it sounds like your mind is kind of all over the place.
Yes.
Sounds like your body is getting ready to fight or flight, especially with that increased heart rate.
Mhm.
Makes perfect sense. You're ready to run away.
Mhm.
So let's try this again on the second page. So just flip to that second page.
Okay.
So the goal here is to be really aware of senses. So we've talked about those 5 senses.
Uh-huh.
So feeling the couch underneath you, feeling your feet on the ground, feeling textures on your skin. What do you see with your eyes? Hearing some of the noises that are around us, smelling anything that you may smell. So practicing those sensory skills that we've been talking
Mhm.
about, while also still writing down about the same event.
Okay.
So I'm going to have you write the stressing event in the middle there.
Okay.
And now do the same exact thing. Write down all of your thoughts about that event, but this time being really aware of your senses.
Okay.
And take a few more seconds to finish your thoughts. So, do you notice any body tension right now?
I noticed like on one of the things that I was writing, I could start to feel like my shoulders tense again.
Okay.
But then I like felt the words on this pen and like brought it back down before I started writing the next thing. So there was like little pieces of it, but it wasn't like the whole time, and I don't feel that like a continuation
Okay.
afterwards now that this is done.
How's your heart rate feeling?
Good. It feels back down to normal pretty much.
Okay. How are your thoughts? Are you still feeling jumbled?
No, it's definitely more clear, and it's like more kind. More kind to me and to him. Yeah, so not as many like intense kind of like mean initial things that I want to say. It's more like kindness and feeling more clear about some of the reasons that this thing is happening.
So I hear you saying that you are feeling kinder, your perspective has shifted about the exact same event.
Yeah.
And that your body tension has actually reduced
Yeah.
from the last time that you mapped this. So that's where that bridging is coming in place. It's taking you to your executive functioning. Do you think that you would act differently towards this person that you're talking about, or towards this event in this state of thinking?
Yeah, I would. I think, yeah, and just to myself about the situation, because that's something that was really bothering me. I found as I looked back at this one is like, it wasn't just about him. Like there's a lot of stuff about me on there too, and so both acting in a way that is kinder to me and also my interactions with him, I think would be very different if I was had these kinds of thoughts every time that I was having to
Yeah. So you would behave differently because you're in your executive functioning. So you're in your wise self.
Yeah.
So that's the identity, or that's the true self. And when you are when you're feeling a lot of stress about a situation, you can sit down and you can do a map, and you can kind of get everything down on paper, and then you can actually bridge your mind, and you can get to your executive functioning like before you have to interact with those people at work.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that that's something that you would want to do?
Yeah, I think this would be really useful because, kind of like we said, like how you mentioned, like the values. Like I don't want to be that person
Right.
who is thinking and saying those kinds of things about people. This place of like understanding and kindness is so much how I would rather be interacting with people. And so, if that can help with certain situations, especially in this one, because I know it's going to get more stressful in the next week, that I think that would really help our interactions be a lot more civil and understandable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the good news is that's your true self.
Yeah.
So the map that you did before, those are, that's not who you really are. That's how you function when your brain is in a stressful place, when your brain is in that primal thought process.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you can sit down at work, you can do maps anywhere, but it's just really a brain-based approach to bringing your mind and your thinking patterns, and you're reducing your body tension and acting in an executive way.
Yeah, I can see that. I like it. And
Wow.
yeah, I would like to practice more.
Yeah, let's continue doing bridging in our next session.
Okay. Yeah, I think that sounds good.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.